What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Ready to Love. This is season 10, episode 10, part 2 of The Getaway. So, as we all know, Deanna and Angie, they're in the bottom two. For me, both of them could have went home. Both ladies could have went home because I don't feel like there's a connection with either ladies. Deanna ain't got nobody here, and Angie is everybody's afterthought. So, both of them could have went home. But no. Angie ended up sticking around and Deanna went home. So now I'm just like, okay, so Khalil, I hope you know that you going next, baby. Because there's no point in you being around here either because you ain't got no connections. Tay ain't gave you the time of day. Okay? So you go ahead and pack a bag as well. But let's go ahead and talk about the episode, okay? Oh, wait, before I move on though, I do want to talk about the fact that Cam, he does want to keep bringing up the whole situation where Angie was saying how she'll key somebody's car or bust out windows, whatever she said she would do. And her whole point was that you shouldn't get me to that point, which is true. If we are going into this relationship as adults and we're not going to be playing childish games and all of that foolishness, then yeah, we shouldn't even reach the level where I feel like I want to bust out your windows. But also at the same time, I need for Cam to stop throwing out the fact that he may make a mistake or he may do something wrong. I'm like, are you planning on it? Like, what's going on here? Because in the grand scheme of things, y'all, the only mistake that gets you to a woman busting out your windows is usually if you cheat on her. So Cam, are you planning on cheating at some point? I need to know now. But let's go ahead and move on. So now we see that the group has decided they're going to play a game because ain't nothing else to do up in this house, right? Basically, if you did whatever is asked on the piece of paper, you take a drink. Okay, fine. Why is Tay in her confessional talking about how she has this strong connection with Cisco and a strong connection with Khalil? Girl, you ain't paid Khalil no type of attention since you got up in here. What are you talking about? You don't really like him like that. For some reason, you are head over heels for Cisco. Now, in this game, I'm not about to go over every question, but I did notice that whenever there was anything sexual asked, baby, Angie was throwing it back, okay? Now, we got Cam in the confessional talking about how, the sexual chemistry between us is undeniable. I said, whoa. Weren't you the same man saying that we got to stop leading with sex? Because every time we have a conversation, that's where it goes. Make up your mind. Which one do you want, baby? I'm not understanding you, Cam. Like, I feel like he judged her on the type of sexual energy that she had before, and now you want to participate in it? Sir, you just want to keep some extra bodies around. Remember how his friend said he don't like to, actually break up with people or let them know that we don't need to go any further and let situationships and relationships linger on unnecessarily? That is exactly what is happening right now. Like, sir, you can start cutting the people down. Angie, she ain't your girl. We know this already. But nonetheless, they play the game or whatever, answer the questions, and at the end of the night, everybody's like, all right, good night. And what's crazy to me is that we see Khalil, he really got to make an effort to tell Tay good night, right? Give her a hug or whatever. And then the camera go pan to Cisco. I said, baby, Cisco shouldn't be worried in this moment because Tay about to be laid up in the bed with him anyways. So he ain't tripping. I don't think he tripping off that little hug. I see what you tried to do there, cameraman, but it ain't gonna work. Now we get to the next morning and Tay and Khalil have a conversation, right? One thing that stood out to me was the fact that she told him, you're a good friend. I said, damn girl, are you about to friend zone him right here? Because that was kind of, I don't know. I feel like the energy that he's giving is that he actually likes her and wants to pursue a relationship. When she talks to him, it's giving friendship. And I kind of feel like the only reason why she is still holding any interest in Khalil is because he has stability versus Cisco, who has, baby, he ain't got nothing going on for him, okay? He ain't got a car. He ain't got a house. He barely got a cot to lay his head on. Y'all, then we get into this conversation that threw me for a loop, y'all. So basically, Khalil says that he does not want children for another 4 or 5 years. However, Tay, she wants to have a child within the next 2 to 3 years, right? For me, I just kind of feel like, okay, that timeline, it is pretty close. However, because of the ages that we are, because I think both of them are mid-30s, it does make a difference, especially for Tay, because she would be the one who's carrying this child. Here's my thing. I like the conversation, but this could have been had like episode 4. We did not need to get all the way to episode 10 for y'all to realize we're not a match, because this right here is a deal breaker conversation. And for me, it was bothering me that Tay kept saying, you needed to put a little bit more emphasis on it. I said, girl, you are using that phrase all wrong. He doesn't need to put any type of emphasis on anything. This is a straight conversation. This is just, you want to have kids within 2 years. I want to have kids within the next 5. Therefore, we're not a match. Now, I do understand where she's coming from, where she's like, I would have never got this close to you if this was really a deal breaker for you. And hey, I agree with her. I wouldn't have wasted my time. But I'm just like, damn, girl, you really was going to put all your eggs all up in Cisco basket, huh? So at this point, they end this conversation by realizing that they only need to be friends because the relationship, it ain't going nowhere. Okay? Now, for me, if I was Khalil, that would have been my moment to self-eliminate. Baby, you ain't got to send me home. I ain't got no other connection. I'm not about to pretend like I have one just to stick around on this show. Baby, let me go pack my bag and go right on home. Now, moving on from there, y'all, we see Jay and Kiera, right? Jay, how did you put that little tank top on? Because why you got all that deodorant all on the back of that damn tank top? What was going on? Did you just roll it on? You know what? That's not even important here. Let's get into this conversation. Y'all, Jay gotta go. Because that man told Kiera, I'm sorry for the visual aspect of it, because for what you saw, it looked like it was more than what it was. Jay, are you okay? Like, I get it. You are trying to win this girl back, but baby, this ain't the way. Also at the same time, the things that you were saying to Sahara, it was not giving friendship. It was definitely giving that if she would have let you, you would have definitely tried something with her. And also what's bothering me is that he only wants to apologize for how it looked. Not that he was even, entertaining Sahara. Because here's the thing, when y'all was on that bus, you did agree that y'all was going to pretty much be locked in with each other. And if y'all going to be locked in, then it should be you for her and her for you. It's only Jay and Kiera. There's no other outsiders. If y'all are locked in. Then this is where things took a left for me, y'all. Because Kiera decides that she's going to go get Sahara so that way they all can have a conversation. And I'm just like, girl, is Jay really worth all of this? So Sahara comes over, and first of all, she's like, oh, what kind of meeting is this? And Kiera was like, not a fun one. And I'm just like, girl, this ain't even that deep, first of all. But secondly, Kiera is asking Sahara, oh, do you think you have a connection with Jay? And she's like, yeah, I thought I did. And baby, the way he just tried to play in Sahara's face is crazy to me. Like, he is literally going on about how they never did anything intimate. And it's like, okay, but that doesn't mean that you haven't shown no interest in this girl. Like, it's a way to be friendly with somebody, and it's another way to flirt with somebody. Jay, you were absolutely flirting with her. Like, be so for real right now. Then we got Sahara. She trying to explain how, he's always been an option for her. And he's like, oh yeah, I understand that. No, baby, how do you understand that? Because now you try to set it up like she has a schoolgirl crush on you and you are the football player jock that would never date her. Like, what is this energy? Like, I'm sorry, y'all. I know people, they cannot stand Sahara. But I don't think that she would be that comfortable with him to be rubbing all on his leg if they hadn't been talking before or having some type of conversations. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't never seen her go rub on anybody else like that. Like, be so for real, Jay. But because you don't want to lose Kiera, you are really playing in Sahara's face right now. And she peeps it. So Sahara, she says, I didn't know y'all was a couple, right? And I agree with her. If y'all gonna be locked in, tell everybody that you're locked in, okay? And they're like, oh, well, we're not a couple, but since the beginning, it's been my man, my man, my man. Kiera, do you hear yourself? Because all that is a phrase that the internet created. I can't even think of who actually originated it. But nonetheless, that does not mean that you locked in with that man. Then we go on to figure out that, oh, well, if he had other connections, he could go talk to him. Then what was all of this for? What was all of this for? You got Jay still talking about the visuals. Sir, this ain't a music video. What visuals? Sahara is over it. She walks off. I said, girl, that's the best thing you can do. Leave these two dummies alone. Now, after she done walked off, we got these two idiots still having a conversation, right? And for some reason, Kiera was like, yeah, but you didn't check her. I'm sorry, what checking was he going to do? Because the same way that she was rubbing on his leg, he was rubbing on her neck. What checking was he supposed to be doing, Kiera? I'm so confused right now. So now Kiera has shut down again. She don't want to talk to him. She's over the situation. Now, did y'all see that little clip of Rose in the kitchen cooking some bacon? I said, girl, you trying to prove so bad that you Superwoman. You want to be Superwoman so bad, girl, I guess. Moving on, we see Angie and Hussein. I kind of forgot that they were even supposed to be possibly connecting. But nonetheless, they sit down and have this conversation where, she brings up the fact that the last time that she was in the lounge, Tommy kind of told her to open up to the guys that she's interested in because they don't know all the things that she has going on personally, right? And she's like, okay, cool, I'm going to open up to Hussein. And she's like, I know it seems like I have an issue with letting a man lead because I've always had to do things on my own. What does leading look like to you? Now, y'all already know, in my last review, I said, where are these men leading them, okay? This is what Hussein had to say. Taking care of things and leading with intention. I'm sorry, that's it? That's all? I feel like we gotta let this whole lead talk go. Because for what I'm gathering, Angie needs a support system, okay? Angie needs somebody who she knows that when she's feeling weak, that person is going to pick her up. When she has a lot going on with her family, that person is right there for her. Like, again, like I mentioned, she wants a partnership, not a leader, okay? And then as far as Hussein goes, again, what are you going to be handling? I need some examples. Intentions to do what? I'm sorry, maybe somebody in the comments can explain to me where these men are leading people to, because Hussein's answer just did not resonate with me, okay? Nonetheless, like I've stated before, she even mentioned that she needs a support system, okay? Now, as far as their connection goes, do I think that they would make it to the end or anything like that? No, because their communication is off. She talks about how she don't hear from him. She hit him up, he don't even respond, and that's not going to work. However, like I mentioned, we ain't never heard Rose complain. We ain't never heard Rose have an issue with communicating with him. So it's giving he has more of a connection with Rose than he has with Angie. Now, speaking of Rose, we see her having a conversation with Cam, and the only thing that I keep thinking is, Cam, when you gonna wear one of them little TJ Maxx shirts that she bought you? Because you keep walking around with your little gym wear on. That's not one of them t-shirts. Alright, so within this conversation, first of all, did y'all catch when Cam was like, oh yeah, I just want to make sure she knows that I'm still around and that I'm the best choice for her? Sir, if you feel that way, then you need to go ahead and drop all your other connections so that way she sees that you're serious about her. That's the first thing. Second thing, the fact that both of them have other connections, I'm tired of them talking about having other connections, okay? But according to Rose, she feels like even though Hussein has another connection with Angie, he has never made her feel like, oh yeah, he has other connections. However, Cam, who has to spread himself so thin because he has 3 women that he's supposed to be talking to, he has let it be known that he has other connections, period. Now, I think the difference here is that if we want to be honest, Hussein has been all up in your face, Rose, and that is why you feel this way about him. Because he ain't paid Angie no type of attention. So basically within this conversation, she feels like she don't know what number she is on his roster, and according to him, because he feels like she's slipping away, he's going to put in more effort. And I'm just like, so you all gonna have a conversation about putting in more effort instead of doing the action? I'm sorry, Cam, where the action at? I don't need you to tell her that you're going to do this or that. Just show her, please. Alright, now another thing that I wanted to point out within this conversation between Rose and Cam is the fact that she was like, oh, because, I already know that the type of connection that we have is very different than your connection with the other ladies because of the things that we've already talked about that I know that they don't know about you. And I said, no, hold up, girl. How do you know what they know about Cam? Because he could very well be telling each one of them the same stories. You know what I mean? Just to have consistency all around the board and not telling you anything special. You know what I'm saying? Unless you are trying to go back and talk to the other ladies and be like, oh, what did Cam tell you? But also at the same time, like, girl, I know that you think that you are, again, woman of the year, but you don't know what he's talking to Sahara about. You don't know what he's telling Angie about that you may not know. So I'm going to need for you to, like, bring it down a notch, okay? Because it's like you low-key trying to set yourself up to be his number one when, baby, he ain't said that. He ain't said that you his number one. And I feel like we've seen him spend more time with other people than you. So are you really in that top? And also, why do you even want to be in his top? Let's start there, actually. Because you said you want this man who is religious and he is none of those things. Why are you still trying to force this relationship? Like, I am just not understanding how even he feels like, Rose is what he's looking for. But for me, I just feel like religion is one thing that's a deal breaker. I'm not understanding why y'all are still trying to pursue each other when you know that religion plays a big part in her life, and with you not believing in God, that's never going to work. So what are we doing right now? You should be like Khalil and be like, you know what? We could just be friends. Now, y'all, we gonna move on over to Jay and Kiera. He over here trying to get this lady to give him a hug. She finally does, but she really don't want to touch him because she's still mad. Girl, how long you gonna be mad at this? Because at this rate, what more do you want from him? Like, what more do you want? You already done pulled Sahara to the side to make sure she knew that that was your man, your man, your man. What more do you want to happen? Baby, we gonna go ahead and move on because we got Tay and Cisco outside because he wants to plan a little massage for her. I said, baby, broke man activities, okay? How much is a bottle of baby oil, y'all? What's about $4? I said, okay, sir. Cheap man activities. Of course he can give you a massage, girl. Now, as this man is rubbing this lady down, he want to talk about the future, right? And how she may be a bit apprehensive because of his goals. But according to him, he think he got this, Okay, he think that he gonna be able to have a career and do all the things, and I'm just like, wait, what did he even want to do? Wasn't he trying to be like a bodybuilder or something? And I'm just looking at his body and I'm like, yeah, you're not a bodybuilder, so you go ahead and let that dream go. What else is on your list? Because he's going on and on about how she just gotta have his back and that gotta be the foundation. Negro, at that point, I would have been like, get your hands off me. Get your filthy paws off my silky draws, because we can't go no further. All you talking about is dreams and aspirations and all of that. But to me, it sounds like dreams and nightmares. You know what the nightmares are? That you are broke. And it sounds like I'm going to be footing the bill for everything. Okay? No, thank you. Like, I don't understand why Tay is into him. I don't get it at all. But I mean, she is, like I said, head over heels for this guy. And I'm just like, so you want to take care of him, yet you've been whining about you need a man with stability this whole time. Make that make sense, girl. But let's go ahead and move on. So, y'all, we are packing up because this weekend is over. When it comes to the couples, though, I will say it seems like Rose and Hussein are more of a connection than his connection with Angie or her connection with Cam. They can go ahead and let those other outside connections go and just rock out with each other. Now, when it comes to Angie, she feels like Hussein and Cam are neck and neck. I said, but girl, they can absolutely be neck and neck in your mind, but you're not number one in either one of theirs. So we get back to the city. The ladies go to the lounge, right? Tommy want to know about the connections. Tay goes first and talks about Cisco and how he's so great with his hands, how when she's with him she doesn't need or want for anything. I said, yeah girl, that's because you're still filming a show. Wait until you're outside of the show and he presents you with a bus pass. Okay, wait till the day that happens. I just don't understand her. I don't. Because how are you saying that you don't want or need anything when you want a man with a car? You want a man with a consistent income. You want a man that has the basics, and he ain't got them. Actually, you need a man with stability. What are you talking about? Like, what delusions are you using to justify wanting to be with him? Then we have the ladies talking about Cam, right? And Sahara feel like he needs to make a choice because it seemed like while they were at the getaway, he was just trying to, please everybody. Then we have, what's her name, Angie, talking about how she got into a disagreement with Cam and there was no resolution. Then we have Rose coming through and she's going on about how she gave him his space to, talk to the other ladies. But at the same time, like, I know that I have a totally different connection than the one he has with these ladies. I say, whoa, girl, you coming in a little bit hot right now. Do you not hear yourself? So you have Sahara and Angie who happen to be sitting right next to her. Like, girl, what's that supposed to mean? Because I'm with Angie. What level is that, sweetheart? Did you smash Cam? Because that would be the only difference around here. And Sahara was like, how would you know that? Like, how do you know what he's telling these other ladies? Girl, you don't. So the fact that you are so big-headed in this situation is crazy to me, Rose. Like, girl, you did all of that for your next paragraph that you stated was about Hussein and how it's all butterflies and roses and, oh my gosh, we have such a great connection. Well, girl, which one is it? Like, are you going to actually pursue Cam just so that you can spite these other two heifers? Or is it that you should just go ahead and choose Hussein because that's who you have a better connection with? Like, make it make sense. So then we go over to Angie, and she goes ahead and tell Tommy about how she had that conversation with Hussein about how she needs stability. And Hussein says that he can provide that for her. Okay, girl, whatever. Tommy brings up Khalil, and here goes Tay, like, oh yeah, that's one of my very strong connections. No, that is not. Stop telling yourself that. That man is not your connection no more. Cut it out. And if we really want to be honest, he was never a real option for you. He was just a guy to keep around if things went south with Cisco for you. But moving on, she basically tells Tommy that they decided to just be friends over that whole deal breaker conversation that they had. Now, y'all let me know if I'm the only one confused, because the way Tay is setting this up, she is setting this up to make it seem like, she had already told him her timeline, and now he was just bringing it up to her now that he wants kids later down the line. To me, when he started out that conversation, it sounded like they talked about it before. Or am I tripping? Maybe I'm tripping. But also, at the same time, I'm just kind of like, okay, why are you only putting it in his court about him not wanting to have kids immediately? You have the right to refuse the relationship as well. Okay, so then we gonna slide on over to Kiera, because she gotta go on and on about Jay. And Tommy, of course, is confused because he like, where did this connection even come from? So he asks Sahara, did she have a connection with Jay? And she says yes. And Kiera says, okay, that's fine. But I said, is it fine though? Because it sounds like it's not okay if he has another connection. Now, she does say in her confession that she's not upset with Sahara when it comes to this situation. She's more so upset with Jay. And I'm like, yes, you should be upset with him. But also, I just feel like, I don't know, something about the way she was like talking to Sahara when they had that meeting, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Now, one thing that I will say is that the updated confessionals, a lot of people look so much better. Like, Kiera looks really good with that darker hair color with the blondish brown highlights. That looks really nice on her. And Sahara, her makeup is together and her hair look better than the braids in her confessional look as well. But let's go ahead and get to the elimination. So we have Rose meeting up with Khalil, and I'm just like, all right, let's go ahead and send him home now because he ain't got no connections. We also have Kiera meeting up with Jay, y'all, and Jay still don't get it, okay? In his mind, he feel like unless he actually slept with this woman, he can basically do whatever he want to do. That's the vibe that I'm getting, because he is not understanding where Kiera is coming from at all. But nonetheless, Khalil is sent home, and Jay is here to fight another day. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Do y'all feel like the whole Kiera, Jay, Sahara situation was way too much? How do y'all feel about these connections? Let me know in the comment section. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, y'all, and I will talk to you in my next review. Bye, guys.